beautiful sight. And there's the River Shannon just down there. So absolutely gorgeous. If you're coming to Ireland, if you're watching from abroad, you need to come to Clonmacnoise, one of Ireland's most important monastic sites. It's just steeped in history. Gorgeous place. So hi there, welcome to another episode of Thinking on Two Wheels. I'm here at the canal in St and I'm just getting ready to depart for a place called Ballycumber in County Offaly. And in Ballycumber there's Ireland's miraculous cow. So I'm going to take you on a story of Ireland's miraculous cow. I didn't know until recently that Ireland did have a miraculous cow. It's a 7th century cow, belonged to an Irish saint called St Manchán, and he lived near Ballycumber. And apparently the cow, legend has it that the cow was miraculous because it could feed the whole community with milk. So this one miraculous cow. So there's a statue to the miraculous cow in Ballycumber. So that's when I'm going to take you up and see that. And this cow, or the statue of the cow, is actually one of the stops on the Irish photo rally. And I'll put a link on the screen. So one of our viewers suggested that I could maybe participate in the Irish photo rally, which I thought was a brilliant idea. So this is my first stop on the Irish photo rally, St Manchán's cow. And I'd like to thank Gerald for that suggestion. It's a brilliant suggestion because I'm going anyway, so I might as well do some of these points. I have to do a minimum of 12 points on the map to enter the competition. Well, it's not really a competition, but it's a way of kind of getting people out and about and visiting different sites in the country. So actually another site is in Athy, the statue of Shackleton. So we've passed there many times, so that's another easy one for me to do. So I'll be able to get a picture there at Shackleton, a Shackleton statue. So basically you have to just get the bike in the picture. But it's opened up a whole other kind of interest for me just to find out about this miraculous cow and learn more about the story about it, and St Manchán, the 7th century, setting up a monastery near the place. And he came from Clonmacnoise, which is a big monastic settlement on the banks of the Shannon River. So after seeing the miraculous cow, I'll head on to the Shannon River, to Clonmacnoise, this major monastic settlement that was on the banks of the Shannon. And the Shannon is Ireland's longest river, not only Ireland's, but the longest river in Ireland and Britain. It's longer than the next longest river, which is in Britain, the Severn River. So they're quite close in length, but I think, if I remember correctly, the Shannon is about 360 kilometres long. So really interesting trip then to go along and see St Manchán's cow. And then after that on to Clonmacnoise. Okay, thanks for joining me, and enjoy the trip. I'm just heading north of Monasterevin now, and I'm headed in the direction of Tullamore. So that's the big town I've passed through. So beautiful day to be out. It's not hot, it's a bit cloudy, a bit overcast, but temperature around 20 degrees, so very pleasant. And it's not a particularly long ride to see Ireland's miraculous cow, not for me anyway. It's about 50, just over 50 kilometers from home to see this miraculous cow. the Duvel, doing well. It's a really great bike for these kind of journeys. Really great bike on tarmac. But as soon as you go off the tarmac, it's a bit of a disaster. It's too heavy. Once you go off tarmac, once you start going at slow speeds over rocky surfaces, it's just too heavy and it falls over. So it wouldn't be ideal for off-road in Kenya. No, it would be a bit of a disaster. You need something like the Kibo. So at some point I'm going to do a comparison of both bikes. So, which is the Kibo K160R in Kenya, which is really kind of I suppose an off-road bike, or kind of a dual-purpose off-road, on-road bike. It's really designed for rough roads. Brilliant bike off-road, I must say. Really enjoyed the Kibo. And this bike, which is kind of a heavier, obviously more powerful 650cc bike, but designed for long journeys, a touring bike, but not designed for off-road. It's designed for tarmac. That's very, very clear. So because some of the best places in Kenya are off-road, it's not really very suitable. I wouldn't like to bring this to, for example, Solai, where the road was really rough, just sheer rocks and stones and dust, and just going up hills. You know, it was really, really difficult conditions. This bike would be just too heavy, because you'd be going at slow speed and just fall over. And it's a heavy bike. Once it starts falling to the side, and you're going to feel all the 230 kilos of the bike. That's unloaded. That's without luggage. It's around 230 kilos. So it's a heavy bike once it starts to fall over. So just coming into Portarlington now. So we're just here in Portarlington, and there's the sign, Tullamore. We're going over the Barrow River here, and once we cross the river here, then we're in County Offaly. You can see the sign ahead on my left, welcome to County Offaly. So Portarlington town is split between the two counties, Laois and Offaly, but most of the commercial side of the town is in Laois. This is the little village of Geeshel. It's always a very nice village. So I must look up what it means, Geeshel, just to know. It's a little picnic site in there, but a lovely pub up here. Of course, Ireland is famous for its pubs. It's a very beautiful little pub up here. I think it was restored, or some old building that was restored, but really, really interesting. This is it on the right here. You can see Hamilton's and Leinster and Offaly Pub of the Year, Hamilton's Pub, sponsored by Jameson, but it looks really, really cute. So we're just going up to Tullamore town now, and it's going to be a busy day in Tullamore tomorrow because we have Tullamore Show. So you're going to see a lot of signs around welcoming people. I just saw one from a politician back there. So it'll be chock-a-block here tomorrow, and in fact today I see there's a bit of traffic build up. I think it's Europe's largest outdoor show, so it's a big show. I think something like 60,000 people will be here tomorrow, descend on this whole area. Tullamore show is just somewhere outside of Tullamore, a place called Bluebell. So yeah, be a busy place tomorrow. just as well I'm not visiting Ireland's Miraculous Cow. Tomorrow I'd be caught in a big jam. I do hope to go to the show as well tomorrow, so I'll be one of those 60,000. Yeah, I think I am going. I think I'm going this way. So we're just in Clara now, so that was good. I haven't been in Clara for quite a while, so happy to be here. Ballycumber, yes, on straight, that's where we're going, and the River Brosna. Okay, very interesting. Moat, Verban, and are we taking a left here? Seem to be taking a left. It's a nice ride up here from Monastic, Port Arlington, etc. I'm going left here, and yeah, on to Ballycumber. Bale, it actually comes from the Irish Ballycumber, Bale, Oha, Cumber, can't remember the other part, but it's to do with the mouth of the confluence. In other words, the River Brosna, we just passed it there. There must have been another stream that joined at that point, so that's where the name Ballycumber, Balya, Oha, and the other part in Irish, Cumber, something like that, but we'll see it on the sign, but that's what it means. Okay, this seems to be Ballycumber, and it's a small little village. I have to go and find the Miraculous Cow now, somewhere here. This is it, Ballycumber. I think it's somewhere up here on the left. Fish and chips. Oh, not yet. Somewhere around here. Aha, here we go. Here's the Miraculous Cow, but how do you get a picture next to this thing? Ah, here we go. Ireland's Miraculous Cow. Made out of beer cans of all things. That's really interesting. Now, I have to do my bit for the Irish photo rally. The story goes that St Manchán had this cow that fed the whole community with free milk. So that's where the whole thing of the land of the free milk. The story goes that the neighbouring community were jealous, so they stole the cow. So St Manchán went after the cow, trying to trace the tracks of the stolen cow, and he came and he found that the cow was in a pot about to be cooked. So what happened was he apparently reassembled the pieces and brought it back to life, and the cow was fine, except there was one piece missing, piece of the leg, I think. So the cow always had a limp after that. But it was brought back to life by St Manchán. And apparently people in this area refused to sell milk they would always give it for free. So that tradition persisted in folklore all those generations from the 7th century. Let us know in the channel or in the comments where you're from. Always delighted to know. Great. Hope you've enjoyed this story of St Manchán and Ireland's miraculous cow. It was the first time I heard of it only when I started looking at the Irish photo rally just a few days ago. But I said I have to get up here and I have to take a picture for the rally, and I have to tell the story of Ireland's miraculous cow. Okay, so I hope you're enjoying the trip so far. We've got to the magic cow, and from here we're going to head on to Clonmacnoise and go and see the settlement at Clonmacnoise, the ancient monastic settlement. And this is the settlement where St Manchán would have come from, so the 7th century. So it was a really bustling centre at the confluence of the River Shannon, Ireland's longest river and the longest river in these islands, and another ancient roadway that would have gone to the west. There's a bog here on my right, just passing on the way to Clonmacnoise, but you can see all this area, it's all bogland. I'll just pull in here and give you a better look, see what it looks like. And those little stacks, those little piles there, they're piles of turf, and they're used for winter fuel. In fact, I'll just go back here a bit and give you a better view of it. Let's go back here onto the road. You see these piles of turf. This is what people do. They cut from the bog, they drain the bog. You can see where it's been drained. And they drain all the water out, and then they dry out the peat or the turf, and then that's what people burn during the winter time. So stacks of peat, you see it there, it's drying. Okay, somewhere around here is Clonmacnoise, somewhere in the Shannon. We must be near the River Shannon here, even though I can't see it. But I saw a sign back there for Clonmacnoise. Ooh, okay, here we go. Shannon Bridge. This is Clonmacnoise. This is the River Shannon, the beautiful Shannon River. I think we go in here. Good thing when you're on a bike, you have to squeeze it in somewhere. Clonmacnoise, one of Ireland's most important monastic settlements. Absolutely gorgeous. Steeped in history. You can see the cruise boats on the River Shannon. So you can hire a boat and cruise on this river. Absolutely beautiful. Look at this view. Beautiful, beautiful river. So I do hope you've enjoyed this episode. I've certainly really enjoyed coming down here to see St Manchán's miraculous cow and then on to Clonmacnoise, to this fantastic monastic site and really important in terms of Irish history and Irish heritage. And the beautiful river Shannon behind me, absolutely gorgeous. So if you're watching from outside Ireland, I do hope at some point you'll get a chance to come and view these beautiful places. And even if you're in Ireland, I do hope you get a chance to come down, because again, we can all be so busy and these places can be accessible and near us, and somehow we'd never get a chance to come. So thank you very much, and I look forward to seeing you in another episode.